The question is, if the tzadikim were so scared of Gehenom, Kafakela, all these different things, you know, whether it's David HaMelech or Moshe Rabbeinu or tzadikim from recent generations like Rav Steinerman, Rav Ovadia, all these different tzadikim were very, very scared of Gehenom. What do we do for ourselves, since we're not even the dust under their feet? First and foremost, we have to understand that Kadosh Baruch Hu measures each person based on their level. And when it comes to the tzadikim, it's the chut ha'se'ara, the measures them to the smallest thing. Why? Because the more a person knows about something, the more is expected from him. For example, if you're somebody that's just starting to learn medicine, you're going to medical school and you mess up, you break something, you even hurt somebody, you're not going to be charged and accused of negligence in the same capacity as somebody that has 30 years experience. Why? Because you're not in that same level. Same thing with every other profession. If you're a trainee in a law office, or you're just starting out in a investment firm or anything else, when you're first starting out, you're not judged the same way as somebody that has been there for a very long time. So whereas if somebody that's been there for a long time makes rookie mistakes, then of course he could lose their job and potentially even get sued and so on and so forth. Same concept when it comes to the tzaddikim versus us. They have spent their life knowing more and more about HaShem, and therefore their judgment is much more detailed. But at the same token, their reward is much more extraordinary. So everything is Zeke Neged Ze Bara Elokim. Kadosh Baruch Hu built everything with two different sides. There's evil, there's good, there's tall, there's short, there's dark, there's night, light, and so on and so forth. And the same concept is when reward and punishment. So just like their reward is much more extraordinary and their blessings are much more valued and their Avodat Hashem is much more significant and so on and so forth, the reality is that there's much more expected from them. So you say, yeah, well, I'd rather not have this much expected from me, and therefore I'll be better off, so I shouldn't be a tzaddik. Wrong. Why? Because the only reason why a person thinks that is because they don't understand the pleasure that a person gets by being a tzaddik, not just in the reward that they get after this life, but during their life, the permanent closeness and dveikut to HaKadosh Baruch Hu is a feeling like no other. When a person wakes up in the morning and they're simply happy to serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu to the fullest potential, when they have a sense of accomplishment, they have a sense of urgency to do all of this, and they have a sense of accomplishment each day that they have done something to serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and that is what gives them pleasure. That is much greater pleasure than any person could ever get from their material needs, whether it's their job or some type of money or some type of honor that they get somewhere else. They're never going to get the same type of pleasure that a tzaddik gets when he serves Hashem at the highest potential. It's simply not possible. So while the tzaddik may be measured differently than a person that's a mediocre person, the pleasure and the reward for the tzaddik is extraordinarily high. So, and it's obviously worth it. Now, as far as the judgment that each person gets, a person has to understand that they're judged based on where they are, what kind of abilities Hashem gave them. So it says that Moshe and Aaron were equals, but everybody knows that there was no Navi like Moshe. So how come they were equals? They were equals in a sense that based on the gifts that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave each one of them, they both filled their full potential. They both reached their full potential, fullest potential that's possible for them. So although there is no Navi that is quite like Moshe Rabbeinu or even close to Moshe Rabbeinu, including his brother, it constantly says that Moshe and Aaron were equals. Or it says that Shmuel is like Moshe and Aaron. It doesn't mean that Shmuel was as great of a prophet as Moshe Rabbeinu or as righteous as Moshe Rabbeinu, but rather he reached the fullest potential. So that's in essence where he was. So when they were talking to Rabbi Zusha Minapoli many years ago, Rabbi Zusha Minapoli was in essence self-rebuking. Saying, Rabbi Zusha, why you? What's going on? He says, I know that when I go up to Shamayim, they're not going to ask me, Zusha, why weren't you Moshe Rabbeinu? Zusha, why weren't you Rabbi Akiva? They're not going to ask me that. The only thing they're going to ask me in Shamayim is, Zusha, how come you weren't Zusha? Meaning, how come you didn't reach your fullest potential? So a person doesn't have to worry about the gifts that Moshe Rabbeinu has, the tikkunim that Yaakov Avinu had, the difficulties of Avraham Avinu. He doesn't have to worry about these things because that's not his tests. He wouldn't be able to pass those tests. He also doesn't have to worry about the test that his friend has, whether it's having a wife that's a bad one, or not having a wife, or having kids, or not having a job, or this. He doesn't have to worry about other people's tests. The only thing that a person needs to focus on is his own test, his own gifts, his own difficulties. If a Kadosh Baruch Hu gave you a gift, one of your obligations is to learn how to use that gift, that ability, to serve a Kadosh Baruch Hu. Whether it's a gift that's a artistic gift, or it's a gift where you have the ability to make money, or it's a gift where you have the ability to speak, or whatever it is, whatever tool Hashem gave you, you have to learn how to serve Hashem with that gift. He didn't give you that tool just for just to make the world diverse. He gave you that gift in order for you to serve Hashem. So that's one thing. The second thing is that you don't have to worry about everybody else's test. You have to worry about your tests. So a person that is focused on his avodat Hashem is not going to be concerned about why he's not this or he's not that. The only thing he should be concerned with is he or she fulfilling their potential with the abilities that Hashem gave them. And everybody knows the truth. Everybody knows where they stand in reality, and we can't live an illusion. A lot of people live an illusion where they, one day they're barely, able to fulfill the mitzvah. The next day they're telling you, I'm doing some yichud with Hashem. They're going to some park and thinking that they're doing yichud with Hashem. Everybody has to stop living a delusional life and realize that you have a ability, you have a test, you have a job, you have a mission, and you have to fulfill it to the fullest potential, day in, day out. When a person fulfilled his potential, when a person put everything on that field, and he did everything, and she did everything that she could possibly do, and he did everything he could possibly do to serve Hashem, you'll know it. Why do you know it? Because you will feel the same way the tzaddik feels when he serves Hashem to the highest potential. And then when you have that feeling, you'll know why on one end you shouldn't be worried about Gehenom, but on the other hand you should be. Why? Because we're not doing that every day. So the more we serve Hashem better, the more we realize how much we can do. Because if we were able to do everything possible every single day, we would never have this feeling of something missing. So the way to know whether you're serving Hashem to the highest potential or not is when you have real true simcha from your avodat Hashem. And that's something that is hard work. It's hard work, but when a person does it, it's worth it. So don't worry about everybody else's tests. Don't worry about everybody else's judgment. Worry about what you can do and how you do it best. And BeEzrat Hashem, you will succeed. Kol tu b'cha v'atzlacha.